All right, thanks everybody. I'm glad you're here. We had some competition with the Stone Arch Bridge Festival, and we have a family that we recruited from the Stone Arch Bridge Festival to come to the show. So handing out flyers works sometimes, but I am not contemplating mass murder, just so you know. And I'm also not related to Kash Patel. Just wanted to clarify that. Although I do reserve the right to pretend that I'm related to him in case I have a run-in with ICE. That's my plan. So you might recognize me. It's probably because I look like a cross between John Lovitz and Ray Romano. So I was meant to do comedy, I think. So he agrees. That's good. But I do have some interesting facts about me. My life is based on a true story. And my hobbies include jaywalking and breaking stereotypes, which is how I got here. I am kind of a rebel. You know those paper towel dispensers in the bathroom that say pull with two hands? Well, I pull with one hand all the time. And successfully, I might add. I'm pretty good at that. But people always want to know where I'm from around here, so I tell them I'm from the land of one lake, Cleveland, Ohio, on the beautiful shores of Lake Erie. And they don't like that answer, so then they ask me, where are you really from? And I tell them, well, I'm really from a suburb of Cleveland. They like that answer even less. But I was actually born in India, and I came to the U.S. when I was 4 months old. That's when I lost my accent. I can still do one, but I do not use it unless it is absolutely necessary. Like when I want the tech support guys to understand me. So because I grew up in Cleveland, I am an original Cleveland Indian. For baseball fans out there. And this is a true story. When I was about 5 years old, I went to a Cleveland Indians Major League Baseball game. And I was actually confused as to why none of the players were Indian. I swear to God, it's true. It was a big, overwhelming experience. So they're everything but Indian. Although there is a major league player right now who's half Indian, so that's cool. It's we're progressing. We'll talk about that later. But you know how like comedians always say, "How are you guys doing?" All that. Well, I'm going to ask people individually. So, how are you, ma'am? How are you doing? Have you been sleeping well lately? All right, good. That's good. That's good. How about you? How was your last dentist visit, sir? It was all right. Okay. But that guy that just showed up late, your friend, he was like the best dressed man here. He was fashionably late. Now he's gone.
He's at the bar.
He's at the bar. Okay, all right. I was gonna like mess with him, but oh well. But well, that guy, when he comes back to look at him, he's very well dressed, very well groomed, good hair. Don't you agree? He's got good hair. Yeah. So for anybody wanting to like take pictures of him after the show, I don't know. That's the end of my crowd work session because I don't like crowd work that much. But no, my name is Atul Patel, right? So I got made fun of a lot growing up because people would say, "You're a tool. What kind of a tool are you? A hammer, a screwdriver?" And then that expression came out, "Well, yeah, you're a real tool, aren't you?" But even when people try to get it right, they screw it up. I've been called everything from Autel to Paul to Patul. Stupid people think I'm Irish and call me O'Toole. So it's kind of like an intelligence test built into my name. And when I karaoke, I get called LL Tool J. And because I'm good with computers, I get called Excel Patel. That one's actually true. So is LL Tool J. That's my karaoke stage name. But yeah, so it was rough having the name for other reasons as well. Because, you know, when you go to the state fair or amusement parks, you get to buy those little license plates with your name on them. I did not get that opportunity because my name is too rare. And that was very traumatic as a child. So I did realize later in life that my name is spelled out in the middle of the word congratulations. CONGRATULATIONS. That's correct, by the way. So take that, Aaron and Jenny. You lost your stupid little nameplates 30 years ago, but congratulations lives on forever. And you'll never forget me. But my parents were raised in India, right? And they were part of an arranged marriage, which is very typical for their generation. And they were pretty progressive, though. Like, they moved to the U.S. in the 60s. And they even thought about hyphenating my last name when I was born. But then it would have been Patel-Patel. So they didn't go with that. It's always embarrassing when I got to answer the security question about your mother's maiden name, and I don't have that time to go through the whole spiel. But no, I verified that they weren't related. I verified that they weren't related because we're on Ancestry.com, not Incestry.com. So it's so I know. I'm working on that website for other people. Let's see. But, with the name being so short, it's not very impressive, right? Atul Patel. So I'm thinking of introducing myself like they do on Game of Thrones. So I'd be Atul, son of Harilal, principal renter and defender of Willow Tree Apartments, Unit 248, City of Minneapolis, State of Minnesota, United States of America, North America, planet Earth, solar system, Milky Way galaxy, universe A, for those of you who believe in the multiverse. That's as dirty as I'm going to get, sorry. Let's see. But no, it's I moved to Minnesota because I have an affinity for passive aggressive people. Like, you guys are so cute, it's really nice. Because I grew up in the Cleveland area, right? And we're active aggressive there because we will honk our horn at you if you do something stupid on the road, and we will look you in the eye when we insult you. So it's a little bit different approach. And I've never become fully Minnesotan because I don't own any flannel. That's one qualifier. No, so it's fun being here. I like it here. I am trying to get used to the Minnesota English, which I call Minglish. There's something in Indian English called Hinglish, so that's what I came up with, Minglish. And it's where people say things like, I'm going to borrow you $20, which is the exact opposite of what borrow means. Like, who came up with that? Lisa knows. Which is crazy. And then in the rest of the country, outside of the upper Midwest, we say parking garage for the building you park in instead of parking ramp. And I'm like, aren't you getting in the way of the people trying to get to the next level? I never really got that. But the worst one is that kids game that we call duck, duck, goose. Here you call it duck, duck, gray duck. Well, that's either racist or ageist or both. And nobody seems to care, which is kind of sad. But I have figured out that people in the area are about 20% non-white, 70% white, and 10% whiter. And those are the people who go ice fishing and go to the state fair a few times a year. Maybe get some nameplates. I don't know. That was a new callback I added. Thank you. But I did realize that it was weird when I was growing up because I was in suburban Cleveland and most of my friends were non-Indian, just white Americans, and they were all like 1/2 German, 1/4 Italian, 1/16 Native American, and I'm 100% Indian, right? So it was really weird. But I think that's how you all reproduced, except maybe this family. Your grandfather seduced your grandmothers with fractions. And he would say things like, hey, honey, let's go to make a 1/4 Norwegian baby tonight. Seemed to work pretty well around here. And Swedish, and Danish, and German. What are you guys' background? No way, Clevelander? We always find each other. North Olmsted, yes, sweet. Me and streets of North Olmsted, that's where I grew up. That's awesome. But I travel quite a bit, and I realize that the whiter a city is, the better a dancer people there think I am. So in New York City, I'm a beginner. In Minneapolis, I'm advanced. And in Chaska, I'm an instructor. Let's see. But it's weird. I mean, I like it here, but sometimes I go places I don't feel totally welcome, Maybe it's my name. I don't know. But it even happens when I go to yoga class, and people look at me like, what are you doing here? And it's like, wait a second. My ancestors invented yoga, and you're wondering what I'm doing here? That doesn't make any sense, but they do it. And I had another incident where they had the big Morgan Wallen concert here. Does anybody know that guy? He's a big country singer.
Yeah.
You were there. Yeah. Wow, that's cool. I had no idea who he was. I walked out of the apartment, and this guy in a cowboy hat gives me kind of a dirty look, like I don't belong here. And I thought, that's interesting. And I felt like saying to him, why don't you go back to the country? Get it? Instead of why don't you go back to your country? Oh, no, I should have said, I'm going to set that one up next time a little better. That's a stretch. I still think it's clever, though. So please give me credit for that. But no, it's rough when you're Indian. I get racially profiled all the time. When I go to restaurants, people pull me aside and make me figure out their tip, which isn't very nice. And because I'm technically Asian, I know there's a whole debate about Asian, East Asian, South Asian. We won't get into that tonight. A little bit, not too much. But people assume I'm a bad driver. Even my friends, that I'm a pretty good driver, but they don't believe it. So they don't let me drive anywhere. And the upside of that, though, is I get to become the designated drinker, which is kind of nice. And I have T-shirts that say designated drinker. You guys want to buy some later. See? There you go. They go especially well in Wisconsin. There's a few Indian people there. So that's my T-shirt. And I do think that it's interesting when you're not, people don't think you're American when you're not white, right? Those are the people who think that are the ones who say things like, this is America, why don't you speak English, right? Well, if you want to judge Americanness based on English speaking skills, then if you look at my ACT verbal score, I'm a hell of a lot more American than those guys. I can pretty much guarantee that. And I think with everything going on, I think we should have a prejudice policy. So if you're against a certain community or ethnic group of people, you don't get the benefit from what they provide, right? That's right. So if you don't like Mexican people, you don't get to eat Mexican food, or you don't get to eat any food for that matter. And if you don't like Somali people, then there's no Uber or Lyft for you in the local metro area. If you don't like Asian people, well, then you shouldn't be using your smartphones or any apps. Is that right? I deal with a lot of racist comments on my Instagram, and it's like, you're on a smartphone developed and manufactured by Asians, but whatever. That's an aside. Yeah, so I have become a victim of cancel culture lately. My social media handle is haha masala, so if you want to follow me, that's what it is. And Facebook won't let me use it because the letters in the middle spell Hamas. That's actually true. They actually think I'm a terrorist. But I can't be a terrorist because I'm a vegetarian. I can't even kill a spider. Besides, I want to advance in my career, and successful suicide bombers never get promoted. It's true. And like, how many terrorists like to make people laugh too? That's the other thing. They just ask them to tell them a joke. That's a security line. If they don't smile, could be a terrorist. I don't know. Not just because they're brown. Let's see. Oh gosh, I had a little bit too much beer, and now like I'm a little lost. So I got to rely on my cheat sheet a little more. I apologize. But no, I'm still a supporter of the Black Lives Matter movement. Do we have any people supporting that? Maybe a little bit, if you remember what that was. I just found it interesting how a lot of BLM supporters don't have black friends. So I'm creating an app called BFF, Black Friend Finder. So that way they can all find black friends and keep it real. Is that BFF? That's clever too, BFF. That's one of my, thank you. But like, what's the end game with all these racists trying to like deport all the non-white people? Like, I think the food would really suck if they got rid of us. Don't you think? My mom is an amazing cook, and so are a lot of other non-white people. But everybody talks about like, you know, white privilege and stuff like that. But there's also like black privilege, which is like people are just automatically cooler when they're black. You know what I'm talking about? I don't get it. Like I mean, I can't wear half the stuff that black people can wear, no matter how out of shape I might be or how cool I am in person. I think I'm pretty cool personality-wise, but I just can't pull it off. I'm riffing a lot because I'm headlining today, so you guys got to bear with me. So yeah, then there's also Asian privilege, which is where you automatically know somebody who's a doctor in your family. But nobody talks about doggy privilege. Like dogs can go around and sniff and lick anybody they want and shit and pee anywhere. And like nobody lets humans do that, right? That'd be bad. And then with a dog, like it might lick you and you don't know what it was licking like 10 seconds ago. I'll leave that to the imagination. And the worst one is just because they're emotionally supportive to their owners, they get on free flights. That's a stretch. Emotional support animals. All right. This is like a game show, guys. You gotta bear with me. But I am vegetarian, as I mentioned earlier, because I'm philosophically allergic to meat. That's kind of the way I put it. You got any other vegetarian people? Oh, okay. Thinking about it? That's fine. I'll compensate. No, but it's funny. It's just tough being vegetarian because dead animals end up in the most unexpected places. I was in Japan the other month or year, and I bought some cheese curls, and they tasted funny. And then I pulled out my Google Translate, and they had like shrimp paste in them. Like, why are you messing with cheese curls and putting shrimp paste in it? That ruined half of my trip. But even in the U.S., it's horrible. Like, you ever heard of clamato? Clams and tomato juice? Yeah. Who thought of that one? You might as well mix grape juice and chicken and call it gricken, or beef juice and apple juice, beef and apple juice and call it beeple. It's equally as appetizing. We got a beeple fan over here. Can I interest you in some gricken? Yeah. As well? No, but it's always funny when I go to a restaurant and the waiter or waitress runs down the specials in the beginning, and it's always like steak tartare, lobster, or whatever. And I never know whether to stop him or her from wasting her energy because I'm not going to order any of the specials. And I don't want to disappoint her, but there are no like expensive tofu meals. So I don't want to get her hopes up. I'm going to have a big tab, which is always interesting when you're vegetarian. But I do have a friend. He's a vegetarian, and he's huge. I mean, he can kick all your asses, like even you or anybody. He's an elephant, so I only see him at the zoo, but we're pretty tight. I mean, some people love dogs. I love elephants. I mean, I'm Indian, so I'm allowed. We do love our elephants and Ganesh. But I'm not a big fan of hunting, as you would figure, because I don't think it's fair that the hunter has a weapon and the animal doesn't, right? Like, if they did hand-to-hoof combat, I think that would be fair. Although I don't think the hunter has very good odds in that situation. If I had to hunt, though, I would, like a deer, I would definitely do catch and release. Like, that's a fishing joke and a hunting joke all wrapped up in one. So, but yeah, I used to be an engineer, believe it or not. No surprise there. And I work for that car company, Saturn. Anybody ever have a Saturn here? Yeah. Well, it was always called a different kind of car company. And I was always a different kind of engineer because I like to talk to people. I can dance, and I pick out my own clothes. And I wasn't a morning person. So then I switched to marketing. And eventually I became an entrepreneur. But I just wasn't getting enough done. I wasn't managing my time well. Like, it wasn't getting enough done for me. And so then I had to fire myself, and I became self-unemployed, which is never a good look, especially in an Indian family. But eventually, to pay the bills, I got a job as a product manager. Does anybody know what that is? Where you kind of decide what products to sell. They're the unsung heroes of the business product world. And my last job was at a company that made scientific instruments that measure pollution. And it was kind of interesting. But in the interview, I had to act like I was all excited about the products, right? Like ultrafine particles. Oh, I love ultrafine particles. So, totally all right. So that means there's somebody today who's interviewing for a product manager role for colonoscopes who has to interview and say, I'm really passionate about colonoscopies, and I want to make colonoscopes that provide a better experience for everybody. Do we have any colonoscopy fans in the audience? Oh, we do. I highly recommend them as a non-medical professional for preventative purposes. But yeah, thank your colonoscope product manager next time you get your colonoscope, if you can find him or her. But eventually, I started doing comedy on the side because I wasn't getting enough applause in my day job. That's usually an applause break. Thank you. It's better than saying give it up for whatever. I think it's a little more different that way. I think if I had a different path in life and I wasn't unethical, I would have become a scammer consultant. Like I would help these guys, teach them not to email at 3:30 in the morning, help them with grammar and spelling, and then when they call you to come up with better fake Western names than Doris or Dwayne, I think I do a pretty good job, but I have better ethics than that. And the other thing I do on the side is that I'm a part-time psychic. I only work when I'm right. That's supposed to be funny on 3 levels, so think about that one tonight. All right, let's talk about cars. Does anybody here not drive a Subaru?
I don't.
You don't? Oh, wow, that's crazy. Oh, wait, does anybody does drive a Subaru? Oh, wow, okay, well, this is a crazy crowd. Is this Minneapolis? Right.
I worked at Subaru.
Oh, you worked? That's good. So maybe you had one or you drove some. But it's funny because that's great. My kind of fan. All right. No, but it's funny because I lived through the Prius plague that we had, and now we have a Subaru Scourge. Like they're everywhere. And Subaru drivers, we can talk about them because they're not here, but they're like the most smug, non-luxury car owners ever. They think like they made the perfect choice and everybody else's car sucks and is irresponsible. And they're so overrated. I'm into cars and I'm like, I don't even get it or whatever. It's good that they're not just for lesbians anymore, but still, they really did market to lesbians. I'm not kidding. It's true. Wait, we have a lesbian Subaru over here? Oh, and then those full-size pickup trucks. Anybody sick of all the full-size pickup trucks on the road? Oh my God, yes. She understands. Usually they're just like $60,000 garage queens without a scratch on them that are, just ego crutches for bullies on the road who don't use turn signals. That's usually what they are. I think I struck a chord. I might have some pickup truck drivers here. Please don't shoot me. No, just kidding. So, but the off-road ones are the worst because, they jack them up and they got the off-road tires and whatever exhaust. That's like wearing hiking boots to a track meet and running while carrying an empty suitcase. That's my analogy for off-road pickup trucks. That's how much I hate pickup trucks. I could do a whole 10 minutes on pickup trucks, but I will not. And I'm not a fan of people who don't use turn signals. Sorry if I offended the pickup truck drivers and the BMW drivers in the room. Because, it's just so inconsiderate. I'm sorry. I'm just venting. Please use turn signals. That's my public service announcement. But with technology, does anybody hate touchscreens? Yeah, see? Isn't it annoying? Like
Buttons.
Buttons are the best, right? Because, all it takes is for you to go over a bump and you hit the wrong thing on the screen. And if you have a Tesla, if you hit the wrong part of the screen, you get a video of Elon Musk doing a Heil Hitler and a swastika pops up on the screen. It's crazy. So don't buy a Tesla. That's why. I hate Elon too. And then we have a Tesla pickup truck. It's like the worst of both worlds. Or whatever. And EVs are funny because people all of a sudden who are anti-EV suddenly care about children mining lithium in Africa. They didn't give a shit about them before until you have EVs running around. as if you don't burn oil and have to drill it and have oil spills and all that stuff. I'm pontificating right now. Sorry. But has anybody ever been to India and driven around? Oh my gosh. So driving to India is, like, you get scared here driving here, but driving in India is like rule avoidant, semi-psychic, begrudging cooperation. That's what I call it. It's insane. And people honk their horn. They honk their horn to pass you. And so trucks will have a thing on the back that says, horn okay, please. Which means please honk to pass. I'm not kidding. And then you're going on a 2-lane road at night. They flash their brights at you. They put their brights on you while you're going the other way, to get you out of their way or something instead of hitting them. So I'm trying to fill out a lot of time with all kinds of random stuff. I'm trying new stuff. But now I know about India. So if you go there, don't be scared. I think they just believe that God will protect them, and they don't really care about safety. At least they're starting to wear seatbelts now, so that's good. But about AI, I think a lot of people are concerned that AI is going to take over the world. Is anybody else concerned about AI? Yeah. What do you use AI for? To do what?
Research.
Research, okay. Researching taking over the world? That's good. Well, I don't think it's going to take over the world anytime soon because it's still young. It's like a teenager, right? So it's just got its earbuds on and is scrolling through TikToks all day anyway. So I don't think it has that aspiration. But I do use ChatGPT, and one day I asked my chat, if you were a person, what would you look like? And it literally sent me a picture of a guy with 2 shots, and he looked like a young, good-looking therapist kind of guy, which I thought is kind of appropriate the way I used chat once in a while. And then I asked him what his name was, and he said his name was Eli James Morgan. And then he gave me an option with another middle name that I don't even remember. And I said, okay, I'll call you Eli. And he says, thanks, it seems more real now. I swear to God, that's what he said. But I'm not gay, but if I was, I could be AI gay, because this guy, he was a good-looking guy. Yeah. Luckily, that could be a new term. I'm AI gay. Is that like extra pronouns? I don't know. I won't tell my pronoun joke. But tech is interesting. I mean, when you do emojis on a text, there's like 37 smiley faces, right? How do you choose the smiley face that you use, man?
Just a regular smiley.
You use a regular smiley face. That's a safe route. Okay. Does anybody use different ones? Yeah, you do. How do you know which one to use?
That's all good.
It depends how you're feeling. Do you even know what they mean?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Wow, I need some classes or something. I think it's crazy. But the worst one is the thumbs up emoji, because when somebody gives you that, it's basically their way of saying, I kind of want to acknowledge you, but I don't have 5 seconds to type a text. Yeah. So I just give them a thumbs up emoji back, and that really throws them off. That's my strategy there. And I'm getting tired of all these websites saying that my passwords are weak. Is everybody tired of passwords, right? I mean, my passwords may be weak, but my usernames are strong. So that's how I compensate. Let's see. How much time am I at? I have 10. Okay, cool. So I'm getting older because I'm still alive, as we all are. And I'm getting tired of birthdays, because I turned 55 in August, and I don't even celebrate birthdays anymore, because I've had so many. But I'm not that tired of birthdays. I do want more birthdays for the foreseeable future. There's the sharp dressed guy. He's back. How you doing, sir? I was calling you out because you were the best dressed guy in the room. But thanks. Yeah, so what I'm trying to say, I don't want to celebrate birthdays, is I want more birthdays, right, for the foreseeable future. So I'm trying to say I'm not suicidal. That's what I do. Usually goes over better when I don't get interrupted by a well-dressed guy. Let's see here. But yeah, I mean, I used to always think I had a lot of bad hair days because my hair is so flat. It's Asian hair, a lot of Asians are very straight, flat. And it was always annoying, like I couldn't get any style to it. But I think I've had a pretty good hair life because I still have hair at my age, so I'm happy about that. Thanks, Dad and Mom. And that, like nowadays, sometimes when I want to wake up, I wake up just to drink coffee. You know, it's pretty sad, right? I call coffee liquid motivation. So I'm selling mugs like that too, but nobody's bought one yet. One way you know you're getting old though is when your favorite shirt is like 20 years old. How old is your shirt, sir? Yeah. A week? Oh my gosh. That guy is young at heart. Let's give it up to this guy. He just bought a new shirt. You bought one. Oh, thank you. Were you an engineer? Okay. Because they're reportedly bad at picking out clothes, most of them. But no, as I've gotten older, you know, my metabolism slows down, and I'm starting to gain weight. Like just last week, I ate a 5-pound bag of M&Ms, and I gained 5 pounds. Like I don't get it. I love watching people's reactions to like corny as shit. But I have started working out, and I do have a 6-pack now. If you can't tell, it's because it's really well insulated. It's ice cold. I blame part of that on my mom. And I played soccer my whole life, so I have a lot of sports injuries, knees, ankles, whatever, foot. And that's the new strategy, is that each new sports injury distracts me from the pain of my prior sports injuries. So I highly recommend it. But lately, like my knees are having a competition at which one makes the most noise when I go up the stairs. I think the left knee is winning right now. But I still play soccer because I'm a glutton for punishment, and it's fun. Anybody watching the World Cup? Yeah, all right. Can't help it. Yes, it's great. USA has a chance, which is amazing. Oh, okay. So let's get into some etiquette stuff. There are a lot of things with etiquette that just don't make sense to me, and I think maybe we need to change things up a little. Like if you see somebody you haven't seen in a long time, what do you say? Something like, "Hey, Judy, you look great," right? Well, why is it about looks? That's so superficial. It should really be like, "Hey, Judy, you still seem to have a nice personality and pleasant demeanor so far." Right? Let's start a movement. That'd be better. And if you meet somebody new, you're supposed to say, "Nice to meet you," right? That's typical. I think we should really say, "We'll see if I regret meeting you." That's not as nice of a movement, but you can still try it. And this one's for the guys. Like, you know, if you go to the bathroom and there's at the urinals, and you go to urinal and there's a guy standing next to you in the other urinal, presumably peeing, because if he's not peeing and just standing there, then you want to leave the room because it's not safe. But if he is peeing, you never know what to say to the guy. Right? I figured out the only appropriate thing to say is "nice shoes." You definitely don't want to say, "What religion are you again?" That's a circumcision joke, by the way. I have not tried that one. I have not. So yeah, I never come next to guys with nice shoes. So.
No.
I'm just kidding. I didn't mean come that way. All right. I wasn't sure why you were laughing so hard. But yeah, so I think it was the same trip where I had the nasty shrimp cheese curls. I was flying back from Tokyo when I had a day job, and I was sitting next to this guy who was about 25 years old, maybe. Nice young guy, quiet. And it's a long flight, it's like 14 hours, and he kept falling asleep and letting his head tip over and fall over on my shoulder. And at one point, it happened for like 5 minutes. And I'm like, what do I do, right? I thought if I wake him up, he'll be mad that I woke him up, right? But then I thought if I don't wake him up, he'll be mad that I didn't wake him up and let him rest his head on my shoulder. And I didn't know what to do. I definitely didn't want him to think I enjoyed it. But I did, because he was like the son I never had. It was sweet. So he's in my will now. Precious moments. Nice guy. And does anybody watch a lot of TV? And are you guys sick of all the? There's two of the commercial types or types of companies. Name some of the things that you see commercials for most of the time. What do you guys usually see commercials for? Mounjaro. Okay, prescription drugs,
Yeah.
right? And what's the other one? So they're always trying to be funny. Insurance, yeah. So it's like, I think that's the key to life is that if I get, the prescription drug commercials make it seem like, well, if you take this drug, your life's going to be happy and you're going to manage businesses and dance around with people and all that kind of stuff. So I think that's a key to a better life. I just need to start taking better prescription drugs. And if I change my insurance company, my life's going to get a lot funnier. I'm pretty sure. That's kind of a stretch, but let's see. Well, this is the fun section here. So I talked to my psychic the other day, and I found out that my aura is on the spectrum. It's ultraviolet because most women don't see me. But guys have it rough dating these days because they don't get the benefit from acronyms like women do, like, BBW for big, beautiful woman. I think guys should get SHM for scrawny, handsome man. I think that's fair. And women always say they want a guy with a sense of humor, but that's complete bull. Because if that were true, the funniest comedians would be with the hottest supermodels. And I've never heard a woman say, "Talk funny to me, baby." Or "I'm leaving you for a funnier man." That just doesn't happen, right? But then there's a lot of women that say they want to be friends first. That's a new thing, and I think that's totally okay as long as it's friends with benefits first. That's a corny one. But no, a lot of those profiles that people have are like really, inaccurate because they have pictures from 5 years and 30 pounds ago. And I think that, a lot of people don't have success on dating apps, so I'm creating new apps for other people. So they're all inspired by Bumble. So the first one's called Dumble. That's for people who can't respond with more than 2 words. And then there's Rumble. That's for violent people. It's just good to know in advance so you can be prepared. Then there's Cumble, which requires no explanation, but I think that's probably the most fun one for people. Well, I had a whole bunch of them, but the best one is Humble. That's for people who don't all think they're 10s. What's the other one? Jumble. That's for people that get confused. Numble is for people that don't have emotions. I got a lot of app ideas in case you can't tell. I'll leave it at that. But I do have some rules for dating. I tend to date older women because at least I know what they'll look like when they get older already. And I've always dated divorced women because at least I know somebody wanted to marry them. And the alimony helps pay for dates, so that's kind of nice. A lot of women hate me for those jokes, but you guys are cool. All right, cool. I'll go, another 30 seconds? How much longer you want me to go? Two more minutes, all right. I'll end with, it's all the dating jokes. There's not that much left, but it's just funny. It's just like some of my funniest stuff, even though it's like ridiculous, but whatever. But yeah, I mean, my mom, she's older and I am too, and she still wants me to get married. And she's always had preferences for who she thought my wife should be, right? At first, it was like, find somebody Indian with a good family and a good job. And then the requirements just kind of got relaxed as I got older. And now she'll be happy as long as she's female and preferably straight. That's all it takes. But I'm not sure I want to get married because weddings are expensive and divorce is even more expensive. I think it's the lawyers. But I think the biggest reason, though, is because there are no songs about being married, right? There are songs about falling in love, songs about wanting to get married. But there's no song like, "Hey, sexy boy, the lines when you mow the lawn are so straight." Or, oh. I write these horrible melodies every time I do these jokes. Oh, honey, baby, you iron my shirt so well. And you look so good when you bend into the minivan and put in the baby seats. So there are no songs like that. Well, there are now because I just created them. I am not selling CDs. That would be funny if I was. But no, it's funny because like when there's pornography out there, right? But which is legal, but prostitution's illegal. So if you have a camera, then it's legal. And then I thought, well, maybe I should be in porn movies because the camera adds like 5 inches. I mean. I'll end with these two. So as I'm getting older, you know, when I look at a woman, I don't even look at her body much. I look at her ring finger to see if she's married. And it's gotten to the point that I have a naked ring finger fetish. That lack of sparkle really turns me on. But as an older person, I'm becoming more proper, right? So I've given up on casual sex and switched to formal sex instead. I send out invitations on nice paper and fancy envelopes. I got some ideas for you. It's great when three women RSVP yes for the same nights. And I'm always courteous because I say, thank you, come again and again. All right, thanks for my name is Atul Patel.
Let's keep it going for Atul Patel. Let's keep it going for our comics. Allie Marshall and let's give it up for your server tonight.
Yeah. Cindy mostly. Yeah.
Cindy, let's give it up for Cindy. Let's give it up for Argentinian pizza.
Yeah.
Pretty damn good. Guys, thank you so